Hey guys, what's cracking? Yeah. So what's up, guys? Somebody give me a 5 for 5, and we'll go ahead and roll on out with this. It's good to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Ilea? Are we there or not? Are we 5 for 5? 5 for 5. Okay, gotcha. I would appreciate it if you guys would share this out. If you would, it would really be appreciated. Trying to do things a little bit different. I'm going to get a lot more consistent. Also, guys, please just know that I do have a super chat now. If you guys want to help me out with that, you can. It's there. People have bugged me for years to go ahead and do that, so it's there. I'm going to be starting up memberships also. So, if you guys got any ideas on any kind of perks you guys want with that. Now, first thing I want to say is none of the content's going to change what I've always done here. I'm just going to add extra stuff for that part of it. So that's just what I'm going to do. I think it'll kind of build a big, kind of a bigger family type environment, and just draw us all a little bit closer, and we can do, have some good times and do what we do, right? But anyway, so let me, just for 5 for 5, we'll go ahead and get started here. All right. So, yeah, flares, and more flares. That's the name of the game, baby. Name of the game. So, with that being said, what we're looking at here, guys, is at least 8 of them. At least 8 M-class flares in the past 2-3 days. You can count them right here. Can you guys see my cursor or not? Yep, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably closer to 10. We just had a lot of flares. Now, there were some CMEs with that. We've also had radio blackouts because of these flares. As you can see here, just because we have flares doesn't mean we get CMEs with that. But there were a couple involved with these. Hey, thank you, Eileen. I appreciate you, girl. For sure. But anyway, so what we got here, geomagnetic activity. Well, we almost got into a KP of 4, which is very low activity. 5 is G1 storming. And that's, really not much to talk about there either. It's just not a whole, this isn't that big of a deal, is what I'm trying to say. G1 storms are just not that big of a deal. Most people don't even know they're going on. They are newsworthy, though, okay? Now, something else I want to point out here real quick is this. We've got a couple coronal holes here. These are significant in size. So what that is that's the surface of the sun showing. That's black. The surface of the sun is colder than the atmosphere. The corona, okay? So when we're talking about the corona, it's hotter. And I've said this 1,000 times already, and I'll say it again. The Parker SP probe went out there. It was the one that kissed the sun. It got into the atmosphere of the sun. They were trying to figure out exactly why the atmosphere is hotter than the actual surface of the sun. So when I say a coronal hole, it's not a hole in the sun. It's a hole in the corona, the atmosphere. So it kind of peels back, and when that happens, it lets all these charged particles just flood out. And we're all connected to the sun. Every planet, anything in our solar system is connected to the sun magnetically. And that's how that plasma gets here. Plasma is a charged gas. It gets here on a magnetic connection line because of magnetics have a negative and a positive, right? So plasma is charged, so it has a negative or a positive polarity. Depending on what polarity it is, it really affects on how hard it hits us, okay? But with these two getting ready to, we're probably going to connect to these very, very shortly. It's getting real close to the Earth strike zone, which is kind of drawing a box, kind of like right here. Anything inside this box that happens typically will affect the Earth in a significant way, okay? Anything outside of that, you're talking glancing blows, those kinds of things. And it's not exact, obviously, because things can blow out any direction at once. But with that being said, it is what it is. But so we're getting a lot of flares, and it's because we got some significant sunspots. So if we look at the solar visible light, this is visible light that they put a filter on this so you can see the spots themselves. And those are little cores in these little sunspot groupings. I could show you a polarity map. I'm not going to because, I just don't need to. But negative and positive, when they start getting closer to each other, we have better chances for flaring. Obviously, when negative and positive get close, they connect and they blast, right? I mean, it's the same thing that I've always talked about here. It's a filament, it's a magnetic connection line that kind of gets broken. It shorts out, for lack of a better term, and it just flares. Now, again, remember, a flare is not an eruption of plasma. A flare is X-ray. So it gets here in about 8 minutes. So whatever part of the Earth is facing the sun at that time will be impacted by that flare. Now, when we get M-class flares, an R1 stands for radio blackout 1, storm level 1. And it increases incrementally as it goes forward, right? So we always talk about the dreaded X-flare, right? An X-flare is only dreaded when it's way above pretty much what we see here. This goes up to X10 class, okay? So when you start getting off of that chart, that's when we need to talk and have extremely serious conversations, if we even can. Most likely, if we're talking about a grid down situation of any kind of eruption, we're going to be talking about, bigger X-class flares. So that's just what I would say on that end of it. But yeah. So as we move forward here, we're going to see G1, 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 G1. They've kind of backed down their impact, how they think this is going to impact us. Okay. Again, with that being said, is it going to happen exactly how they say it's going to? It's yet to be seen. We simply just don't know yet. And, yesterday, even when I did my live stream, I told you guys I'm timid to say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. This is exactly what's going to happen. I don't do that. I give you guys kind of a range, and I think we're going to fall in that range. But as you can see here, this is NOAA's version of the model, and it does show some impacts. Now, we did, I think we caught a glancing blow from that first one, but it got here late. What that means is, most likely it's moving slower, which means it's probably not as powerful as what it could have been. Okay? So with that being said, whether you consider something being lucky or not, I don't consider any of this stuff kind of like getting lucky. I think it's cool, because when we see these big storms, we get a lot of cool aurora, we get a lot of cool science things going on. Now, I do think right now we are starting to see the impact of a second CME hitting us. And let me show you why. Here's the ACE data, and I'm going to take you to Discover here in just a second to show you. But as you can see, the solar wind speed is picking up, the density is increasing, and the BZ, the -6 I always talk about, we're close to it. So we are being impacted right now by solar weather, okay? Whether it's the CME, whether it's some sort of a coronal hole stream, I do believe it's the second CME that really got fired more direct at us. So what we'll do is we will look at the Discover data here, and it'll give us a better idea of what's going on. It's the same data, it's just an easier graph to look at. As you can see, you've seen a slow increase in speed throughout the day here. But what you can see here is, I call this popcorn. And when we see the popcorn look, instead of like a straight line almost, what that means, a data point gets put on here like a dot. So when the dots line up, it looks like a straight line, which means that condition is being very consistent, right? It's hanging around the same level. But when we start seeing the popcorn, that means it's up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's varying in some sort of fashion. If you go over here and you look right here, look what happened. We're way down here, and then all of a sudden we get this big dense increase. And it's not really a huge increase because it only increased 5. What's normal is a 4. as like a nominal, like rule of thumb, normal for density. But it went from almost nothing to 5 really, really quick. So usually when that happens, and also everything else moved at the same time. When that happens, something has impacted our magnetic field. Okay? Whether it's a coronal hole stream, like I said, a CME, those kinds of things. The phi angle flipped. This phi angle is the actual polarity of the solar wind itself. The stuff coming out of that coronal hole. Okay? Remember, it has to have a charge, so it can flip polarity too, depending on what's going on. And that all matters. So when we get to -6 up here on the BZ, which is the polarity of our magnetic field, okay? So what that means is that when we're in a negative position, it draws it in. And I'm not going to go into much more explanation on that right now, but that's exactly what's happening. So anyway, let's get moving here. So if I take you up here, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do first, though. I'm going to take you to SDO because I want you guys to see exactly where these flares are coming from. If we go to where is SDO, okay, I'm going to show you where the satellite's at and how it orbits, because we're in SDO eclipse season. So if you watch right here on this particular model, you can see how the satellite's actually looking at the sun at all times. Okay? So if I take you down here, this is how it stays all the time. It's what's called geosynchronistic orbit. Okay? And what that means is that it stays over the same part of our planet at all times. It's always doing this figure 8 pattern in this specific spot. It rotates around Earth's axis with us at 15 degrees an hour. But it always keeps its eye on the sun, which is why it seems the Earth gets in between the satellite and the sun sometimes. In other words, the satellite's kind of on the night side of the planet, and the Earth goes in front of it. Okay? So that's what you see. Now, is it a big deal? Absolutely not. It's only a big deal when you don't know what you're looking at. Okay? Because it can freak you out. It'll look really, really crazy. That's just a fact. And you know, we got to just do what we can do. So, again, with that being said, let's go here, and we'll go back to SDO here, and we'll go to let's go to the data. Forget which SDO project teams, spacecraft science, space weather. Man, hold on a minute here, guys. Sorry. So I'll just do it this way. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let's do it this way. I got a link straight to this. Okay, so I'll take this back. We'll go back a couple days. Again, today's the 23rd. We'll go back to the 21st. How about that? And we're going to look at a different angstrom here. And that's an angstrom of light. We see very little of the light spectrum. So whatever we can see, they put a filter on these things, and when they put the filter on them, it lets us see specific gases. Okay? They assign it a color. This isn't actually what color these things are. Okay? But they can be any color. We're going to take a look at the 94 angstrom, because in my opinion, it does show flares rather well. You'll see bright flashes. We'll let this thing load. And while it's loading, I'll take you guys over here to seeds. And what this is SOHO. Okay? If you guys look up here, the Earth is right here, right? SOHO is right out in front of the Earth. It's about 1 million miles closer to the sun, and it orbits with us around the sun at the same interval. Okay? It takes us 365 days roughly to get around one lap around the sun. Well, same thing for the satellite, SOHO. Okay? It's just a little closer, so its orbit is a little closer. That's it. But it's always looking at the sun. They can move it, and they do from time to time. It catches a lot of sun divers, by the way. But it's a great tool. It's one of the better satellites that's out there. It gives us a lot of good information and a lot of good visual. But yeah. So, let's go to the 23rd here. And again, guys, this is an occulter disc. That's a black disc on the camera itself. Has to be there. Okay? It has to be there, or we can't even get any imaging at all, because the brightness of the sun would just flood it out. It would be way overexposed. Okay? Actually, I'm going to go back a couple days here so you guys can... I'll show you guys the ones I kind of showed you yesterday. I'll kind of stop with this one here, because this last one here, that was a big eruption. Okay? Yeah, that was a big one. That one did not come right at us, by the way. Okay? I don't want to say, like, thankfully so, but that did have a lot of plasma with it. You can tell because it looks very dense and bright. So, yeah, if that thing would have came right at us, we probably would be talking about some G4 type of storming if that thing would have hit us right on the nose. But it's not going to. So it's going to go south of us. Most of it is. And it looks like it might be going to the west of us also. Now remember, when I say west, it's backwards in what you would think when you're here on our planet. When you're talking about the sun or anything in space, you got to pretend like you're on that planet looking up. So east and west will actually be reversed. North and south will be the same, but east-west will be reversed. Okay? So when I say, hey, the west limb of the sun, I'm talking about the right side of the sun. And I usually clarify like I just now did. Okay? But those are some of the bigger eruptions there. We'll go ahead and go forward another day here. And again, guys, I'm not sticking on all these eruptions. There's too many of them to like try to analyze and show you guys in any kind of depth. There's just so much of it going on right now. I showed you guys some of the halo signatures, the little like the clouded look that kind of engulfs around the edges here. But yeah, so yeah. Let's so with that being said, if you guys ever come over here to Seeds, if you guys just want to see the CMEs, right? And I encourage you guys to come over here and mess with the site, because in the links in my description box, by the way, if you scroll down, you see all these highlighted ones? Those are all the ones that it thinks is the CME. So you don't have to watch the whole loop. Okay? Now they call it a movie tool, but this is not a movie, all right? You're getting one capture like every, was it 12 minutes or something? Let's I think it's like one capture every 12 minutes. To give you guys kind of an idea what I'm talking about, you guys remember the old cartoon flip books you used to make when you were a kid? You would like draw one, like a little stick figure, and then move its arm a little bit on the next page and draw the same picture. Then you would flip it, and it looks like it's animation, right? That's what I'm talking about. But it's like a flip book. That's kind of what you're getting here, guys. This is not like 60 frames per second. Not even close. Okay? So I'm going to pause it. If you look at the timestamp here, that's at 1548. And it goes to 1600. So every 12 minutes we get one capture. Okay? And then they just put it in a loop for us. So yeah. Hey, Steve, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Hey, let's get a roll call in there, would you guys? Let everybody know where you're from in there. Just kind of regionally. We don't need a specific area, but it'd be nice for everybody got a roll call in there, see where everybody's from. And just so you guys know, Steve, seventh son there, is our in-house dad joke. He will give us a dad joke, and I'll go down and I'll pick it out of the comments when he leaves it, and I'll pin it at the top. It's something kind of fun we do, and I really appreciate Steve for doing that. He came over from the lifeboat, and, you know, hey, it's family over there, over here. It's all the same family. So, anyway, without getting sidetracked again like I always do. Yeah. Okay, so SDO. Now, we're going to get Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. SpaceWeatherNews.com. SpaceWeather.com, I'm sorry. They're even talking about, Dr. Tony Phillips is even talking about it. This was like a strong double flare from two different spots. Here and here. Okay? They basically happened almost at the exact same time. So you kind of see how active the sun is. Right now it's active. Now, is it harboring enough energy to give us X flares? It looks like it's close. It could. Is it going to? I don't have a crystal ball, guys. I just simply don't. I can't give you that answer. Wish I could. But we're going to look at the 94 angstrom here, and you're going to get a chance to see here that, there was another eruption. There was that one I showed you yesterday. And then look, it just looks like a Christmas tree. Boom, boom. Okay? And each time you see it go dark right there, that's the eclipse. Okay? The Earth is passing between the satellite and the sun. Okay? I'll show it to you again like I did yesterday. Back it up here. I'll take it one frame at a time. Well, that one didn't work out quite well. Let's go forward here a little bit to the next one. Okay, you see that? You're getting a little bit of the sun, and then it's back. Okay? So that's what you're going to see. Now, is it a big deal? No. The only reason I talk about it, guys, is because I don't want people to get freaked out and think it's something really bad. Good one, Ilea. Yeah. Everything's cheaper on Temu. Everything. But it might fall apart by the time it gets to you. Anyway, so you can see all these flares, guys. There's really not a whole lot more to say on that end of it. We're going to continue to see this as long as those sunspots are out there like that. And as we're looking at this, we can see that it continues on, even as I'm making this live stream. Now, remember what I just said about, I thought that it looks like we might be getting hit with something? Look here. You see this? This wasn't here a minute ago. So we went up from a 2 almost to a 4. So it does look as though we're increasing in our geomagnetic activity, our KP. That's the unit they use to measure this. And a KP of 5 will put you at a storm level 1. Okay, it's like a thunderstorm warning system, guys. Watch, warning, and then you got tornado watch and warning, tornado emergency, tornado whatever this and whatever that. You guys understand what I'm saying. It works exactly the same way, okay? So, with that being said, I'll just leave it at that. But, here's the other one. Okay, now this is the same data. They just call it something different, and I'll tell you why. This is a German website, and this is in my description box also. This is the HP30 instead of the KP, okay? These are 30-minute plot points. The ones over here on NOAA, these are 3-hour averages. So you're only getting one plot point every 3 hours. That's where that bar comes from. Okay? This is giving us one every 30 minutes. So it's more real time. And I tend to lean towards this one because of that specific reason. I really wish they would do the same thing over on NOAA. I'm not sure why they don't. Maybe they just think it's a little bit more consistent when they can get 3 hours of data and give you one plot point as an average. I'm assuming that that's probably what's going on there. But yeah. Okay. And before I get much more into this, I'm going to have Trinity, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Hi-Ho, Kermit the Frog on. She's going to be on here tomorrow night, guys. We're going to do a show together. And you guys need to go check out her channel. We might go check it out before we take off out of here. If not, guys, hit that notification bell so you guys can get the notifications when those kinds of things happen. So I'll typically go ahead and make a community post Or if you don't want to hit the notification bell, just come back and look at the community post. And I really would appreciate you guys if you would drop a comment too, because like I said before, I'm now in a place now where I think I can start streaming every day. I'm going to make that happen. And so what I'm saying is I'm going to be more consistent. So I would really appreciate it if we could kind of get this all shared out. And I've asked this the past couple times I've been on here, but I want to try to get back in a more consistent routine. And I'm feeling like I can. And so I'm going to bring Trinity on tomorrow. And we're talking about doing a show with each other about probably once or twice a month. Might end up being more, might end up being less, not sure. But please go check out her channel too. She does some deep dives into some really cool stuff. Go check out her channel. We'll talk about more of that tomorrow also. I'm going to give you the space weather too. I mean, that's what my channel is, right? So I'm giving you the space weather first, always. I'm never not going to do that. So when we have guests and things on, I'll let you know the guest is coming on. I would appreciate if you come over and support if you could. It would, it really does help. Dropping a comment and sharing, all that helps big time. So anyway, here's our magnetic field. Okay, this is the sun. You see how the pressure's increased? Anybody that watched me last night can kind of see this. This is, yeah. I mean, yeah. What are we looking at here, right? This is magnetic pressure. And if you remember, well, earlier today I looked at this, and this was almost completely just light blue. There was like hardly any magnetic pressure, to the point where I thought, oh my gosh, that's really, really, really low. I mean, it's not something we don't typically see it, just that low activity, even during solar minimum. It was like, and it lasted for hours, but then we started getting hit again. So, and that's typical. Okay, we do see that. It's not like it's like unheard of. I don't want to make anybody think that. It's just it did strike me a little funny that it was that low of a signature we were seeing as far as the pressure goes. This is density. Okay, light color is low density. And earlier today, when I was telling you what the magnetic pressure one earlier today, where it wasn't showing anything, this one here was completely white, which means there was hardly any density at all. And how can we confirm that? Well, we go over here to the discovered data, and we look at it. See where the density is? It was at 1 or below for most of the day. Okay? So that means there was hardly any particles hanging around. So yeah, I mean, that's something we need to talk about. I mean, that's low activity. Is it good or bad? Just depends on what's going on. I don't like using that term good or bad, because I don't think any of this is really good or bad unless you're talking about aurora or grid down type of stuff. Okay, this is space weather. This is really cool stuff, and we look at this so we can have an understanding when those kinds of things happen and what we need to go do according to that when we know these things are happening. Okay, so anyway, let me just keep moving here. So what you're going to see, guys, is this is the velocity, and again, waves of it coming in. And it's exactly what I would expect to see. I think we are getting hit with something now. Now, this here is the geoelectric field model. This is not magnetism. This is a geoelectric. This is the geoelectric field at the surface. Okay? Why do they use this? Well, USGS is partnering up here with NOAA and the Natural Resources of Canada. They're using space weather to help forecast earthquakes. We always knew it affected earthquakes and intensity and frequency of the earthquakes, but they're now getting more data by using these kinds of things to show you that. Now, when you see that, because it doesn't typically do that, we're taking hits, and this will typically move at the same time as the magnetic field model I just showed you would move. It would increase or decrease accordingly. Okay? So that's just what's happening. Now, what can we expect, right? I know that's like the biggest question everybody always has. And I can't give you a really good answer on that, because the fact of the matter is, right now, things are either going to hit us a little more straightforward, or they're going to be giving us glancing blows. Okay? And it's really hard to really pinpoint it down. But what I can tell you is this, that NOAA is now saying that G1, 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 G1. That's what NOAA thinks is going to happen. This would be the official forecast. Okay, this is what everybody would use for their forecasting. Now, if we get a G2, is it going to make that big of a difference? No. We'll see more aurora. That's what will happen. Now, I will say this too. Our magnetic field's weakening. We're getting more and more data on that every day. And as it does such, it will, the storms that are not as strong will still have a bigger effect on us. Okay? So that's what's happening. Now, we're going to keep an eye on it and all that stuff. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And again, guys, when we get these multiple things happening at once, that's when we can see significant things happen. Okay? And the reason why is because our magnetic field does not have enough time to get back to its normal nominal state to be able to fend things off. Okay? Think of it like this. Like if you were out in, say you went to the water park. You guys seen the wave pools, right? What if you're standing out there in the wave pool and everything's all calm, and all of a sudden you start getting these waves coming in, right? And then you think you hear the machine shut off, but it really didn't. So you stand up thinking there ain't no more waves, and then all of a sudden one hits you right in the back. That's kind of what that is, okay? So when these waves of plasma come in, that's what happens. If you're not ready for it, if your magnetic field can't get ready for it in time, and it hits, it can give us a little bit more of an intense reaction. So that's kind of how that works. But yeah. So, okay. So, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm just being honest here. There's not much more to show you right now. I'm not going to try to keep you guys here all night long, because it's just not what we do. But thank you guys for stopping in. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Trinity's going to be coming on. I'm hoping. So, anyway, but please, guys, share this out. And like I said, I'm going to be firing up the memberships too. And if you guys got any ideas on what kind of perks I can give you guys, please drop me a comment on that. I may even put up a poll. But I really do. I'm trying to push my channel out, and I really want to get. I've got goals, right? And I haven't before. And let me say this, okay? I measure my success a little different than what other people do. When I'm doing my best is when I'm helping others be their best. And that's just how I've always done things, okay? So I get a lot of flack for shouting people out and all that, but that's the reason. That's how I measure my success. Do the other things matter to me? Absolutely, they matter to me. Yes, I like to see my subscriber count go up because it's validation for what I'm doing. So I'm trying to grow. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want my channel to grow. I mean, I want people to hear what I got to say, right? I mean, that's the whole point, right? To try to help people. So just kind of keep that in mind. So when you hear me shout somebody out and this and that, that's why, because that's my own personal way of measuring my success. And I've always been really good at helping other people. But in order to help other people, sometimes I have to stop and focus on myself in this channel so I can help them more. Because if my channel's not growing, or if it's just sitting here doing what it always has done, and I'm happy with that. But if I want to take it to the next level, I got to do things, and that's what I'm doing. I want to get more consistent. I'm going to be here every night, every day. again, I'll probably take a day, maybe 2 off. Not sure which days those are going to be. I got a teenage daughter and 2 boys and a wife that's in college. My life is really, really busy. But I'm telling you that I'm going to be here at least 5 days a week, if not 6. And sometimes it's going to be 7. Whether it's a 10 or 15 minute live stream or an uploaded video, I don't know. Or it's going to be I like doing live streams like this. And I'm going to start trying to do them a little bit earlier so more people can be here. Around, probably somewhere between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be kind of the sweet spot. And I may even try to throw one in during the day sometime. Depends on what's going on with me, okay? But one thing I will say, I will 100% be here if something happens. Back at you, Piper. Back at you. Miss B, hey, I love all my mods. Love all the Wages fam here, guys. Just love all of you. And so let's just keep rolling with it and keep moving. So anyway, guys, go check out everybody. I always say, go check out my featured channel section I've been kind of cleaning up my channel. Go check out the featured channel. That's where all the channels that I've been pushing people to. That's who I support. And that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting more channels there. I'm still trying to line it out and get my channel kind of cleaned up more. So, but with that being said, guys, I am going to pop off here. So, yeah. God bless. Yahusha saves. And you can drink this Kool-Aid.